Today I wanted to speak about the absent father wound, about how not having a father present affects a man as well as a woman in their life, and how that can manifest in different ways in the behaviors that we exhibit in our relationships, and also maybe a few pathways to deal with that for oneself. This is a very big topic, and we're just going to touch on the surface. When a father is not there, when a father is absent, they create a void in a person's life. And that father may be there physically, but he may also be absent by being distracted, by being at work, by being emotionally disconnected, by not taking interest in a person's life. And to understand what that void creates, it's important to see what that void would be like if it was filled by the presence of a good father. And that brings to us the question of, what is a good father? What does that actually look like? What are some of those qualities that should be there, that could be there? A good father is an embodiment of the healthy masculine, very much in that blueprint or that package of fatherhood, of what that means to be a father. A good father creates safety. It creates an atmosphere of love and safety and protection and provision, and allows the people under his care and direction to have freedom, but also be guided when needed, and to grow to become the best versions of themselves that they can be. He helps them with direction, with making decisions. He guides the family. He's there to provide their needs and also be there emotionally. He's there so that they can go to him when they're in tears, when they are hurt by the world, when they need a shoulder to cry on, and also to be strengthened, to be lifted up, to be told that it's going to be okay. He represents strength. He represents like a rock in the family. He's like a grounded force. He is a force which allows them to feel safe in his presence, in his umbrella, so to speak. A good father is loving, but also strong. He has that strength and spine, but he also has a heart. So he's a combination of that beautiful, strong, masculine energy, which is the warrior and the king and all of that. But he also may have a sense of humor. He may have a lover's heart. He takes care of the mother in the family, takes care of the children. He's affectionate, all of that. He's not a tyrant and he's not over-controlling, but he's also not absent in that he is actively interested in their growth and development, but also allows them the space to be themselves. And that's the beautiful kind of balancing or paradox between those two things. For a woman, when the father is not there or hasn't been there, let's speak about that a little bit. So, as we said earlier, this creates a void in her life, and something is missing. And the thing that's missing is the blueprint of what a father should be, of what the masculine is. That role model is absent. And one of the ways that this can manifest is a feeling of insecurity and fear in the world, a feeling of distrust, not knowing where she stands, of not feeling supported. She may rely on her mother for that support or someone else in her family, or she may turn it inward and actually feel like she is the only one she can rely on. No one else can take care of her. She loses trust in the masculine because she sees that he was not there for her when she grew up. Her self-confidence falters because it wasn't showered with that love and attention that a loving father can give to a daughter. So she doesn't feel that support from the masculine. She doesn't feel that feeling of being daddy's little girl or daddy's princess, of that one that she can run to when she's afraid. Imagine what that does to the heart of a girl that never had someone to go to when they felt insecure about things in the world or about themselves, to not be able to turn to that strength. Also, what was absent was his guidance and his wisdom about making decisions, and especially about guiding towards what is a good choice for a partner, what are healthy masculine qualities and attributes. She doesn't have that blueprint, so she's kind of lost in the world with that. She looks towards other things, maybe media or TV or popular culture or her friends, whatever it is, to try to see an example of what healthy masculinity should look like if she didn't have that. And that leads to the danger of choosing a partner who won't fit into that mold. Also, because that's all she knows, maybe she'll end up choosing someone that's also absent, to mirror that wound to her, that reflects that feeling that she had growing up, that's all she knows. She may bring that again into her reality. What is really paramount is a sense of insecurity, of feeling not grounded, not feeling safe, not feeling cared for from the masculine, which leads to a distrust and a feeling that she can't really be taken care of. She needs to look after herself, perhaps choosing weaker partners or partners who are not there for her to fulfill what she believes. And how is it for a boy, for a young man that grows up without that dad, or grows up without dad really caring or being interested in him? Well, his primary blueprint is missing. He doesn't have that image to grow into, the shoes of the man that he's meant to be. So he's lost. He may get swallowed up in the world of the feminine to really become more like his feminine nature of his single mom that he grew up with, and maybe his sisters or the people around him, because he just feels alienated from the masculine. He feels like he doesn't belong, feels like he's not part of that brotherhood of men. He doesn't belong there. He doesn't know what that is. Or he may compensate for that and become extremely macho and really accentuate those masculine qualities which he doesn't really know, by seeing that in his friends and increasing that, creating kind of a masculine mask, which is not his real self, but it's who he thinks he should be, to fill that void in him that he sees as missing. He doesn't feel supported by that strong masculine, by the father, loving father, to help him with his tie and help him to drive and to do all the things that a dad should do or should share with their son. And that may put him at a disadvantage in the world, just growing up and entering into the world, entering into maybe business or relationships. He may do very well for himself, but there are times when he feels like he doesn't have that guidance or someone to turn to, even internally, where we have maybe a voice in our mind that we can sort of fall back on. If we've had a good father or we've had good mentors, we have an interior image of what that's like. We can access that. If a person doesn't have that, there is this emptiness, there's this unknown, there's this kind of void. Ultimately, the archetype of the good father, it's very much connected with Father God, with God the Father, who is the supreme father. And every father is a reflection, however perfect or imperfect, of that divine father, the archetype of what that divine father is for all of us. One way to integrate that father, if you haven't had that experience in you, is to connect with God the Father, to connect with the Creator, and ask Him to heal those wounds and to give you an image in your heart of what that fatherhood feels like. To go back into those times in your life, in your memory, where that father was absent, and to ask Him to fill those moments and those memories with His presence and His blueprint. Even later on in life, if you are able to find a mentor of some kind, or even have a friendship with a father figure, that can be very healing, although it will never go back to repair, something that was never there. It's very difficult to go back and to redo one's childhood, but it can really help you to access that in some way. So inside, internally, in your own inner world, you do have contact with that father energy, which is very important. In this journey, one of the most important things is also letting go of all of the sadness and the pain and the loss and the emptiness that you feel towards that father who was maybe not there, and that healing process. And this is a process of forgiveness, of letting go, of really feeling inside your heart that pain of what that was like, and releasing that, and not running away from that, but actually allowing that to work through you, to pass through you, so you're able to move on. And you'll know that you're able to move on when you have a more of a neutral feeling towards him, or even a feeling of love, of gratitude. Even if he wasn't there, you can still be grateful that he existed, that he helped to create you, that brought you to this world.